Some of my favorite TTRPGs are ones that ask everyone at the table to contribute a detail or fact about a setting or place. You know, world-building games. I think these kinds of collaborative approaches to creating a universe, oftentimes one in which a separate RPG campaign will take place, are the best way to both increase player buy-in and diminish the myth of Game Master as God, weaving the story with their infinite imagination. It's important for everyone to be involved from the beginning. Once you actually get to play in your shared world, you can explore the ideas and themes set up in your original game, and it's great. That's kind of the biggest draw of TTRPGs, right? That's where the fun happens. You fight monsters and flirt with your friends and tell a story together. For me, that's the best part of the hobby. It's why this channel focuses so heavily on narrative games. If your campaign can make you feel something, you've won. But I also think that after your big bad has been slain, and you've lost a party member or two, you have to know when it's time to close the page. I've written before about my fear of reboots and established media gatekeepers being too afraid to invest in new stories as opposed to tapping into old franchises with a built-in audience. And while that's a valid complaint, I think it stems from my fundamental belief that even the best stories ought to end. World Ending Game, by Everest Pipkin, shares that same core belief. Using the language of cinema to guide players through the last scenes of their campaign, World Ending Game gently, but firmly, nudges your characters through moments of closure. It allows you to linger in nostalgia for the stories you've told, but ultimately asks you to draw the curtain. It's keenly concerned with ensuring everyone has a satisfying end, but after the credits roll, it is still very much the end. World Ending Game is framed like you're making a movie. There are 3 primary roles: leading player, supporting player, and director. The leading player is the star of any particular scene, and is typically embodied by the character you've played throughout your campaign. Supporting players are the background characters, filling the role of whatever NPC or important person needs to show up so the leading player can achieve the goal of their scene. And in the background is the director, the person who was the game master throughout the campaign, helping to frame each ending using cinematography directions. There's a lovely little breakdown of actual camera techniques available to the director, laying out the game's verbs in a way accessible to someone like me who has virtually no movie-making experience. There are 20 distinct ending scenes to help you close out your campaign, but I'm going to cover 3 I found most interesting here. I Need Answers provides a straightforward scene wherein your character discovers a single truth about the world and reacts to learning it. The leading player will ask the director a yes or no question. Did X betray us? Did my favorite NPC survive? Was my partner lying? The director will answer in one word, and the leading player will get to narrate the immediate aftermath of them receiving that answer. Maybe they find a roll of film, maybe they receive an unmarked letter. Maybe they just have an unshakable feeling that in spite of everything, they knew the truth all along. I Need Answers is quick, concise, and serves as a pretty good template for what Pipkin is trying to achieve with World Ending Game. You get the resolution of any dangling questions you may have had about the campaign, but the way in which you're expected to react to the reveal makes me feel that Pipkin truly is interested in emotional beats over narrative ones. Throughout many of these games, you'll be asked to describe your character's feelings about a scene. And in I Need Answers, that's all you get. Answers and immediate feelings. I really like this focus. Short, sweet, and concerned about how you're holding up. I suspect, upon release, the revision is going to be overlooked in favor of the more flashy games in the collection. There's a game about kissing that I'm not covering, but I guarantee there's folks out there who would pay full price just for that ending. That said, I think this is one of my favorites because of the way it allows you to extend and shape the legacy of your campaign. You pick one event from your story, anything from your final fight with the boss, to that time your characters helped build a bridge for a small town. Then imagine what that event looks like as it is retold throughout the years. Who benefits from its retelling? In what ways is the truth of it warped? Pipkin gives examples of how variations might occur. Perhaps your character is entertaining a crowd, embellishing details to exaggerate the importance of the day. But maybe your story is used as propaganda, stolen by the state to inspire some alternate agenda. Maybe it's even recreated as a play, with completely incorrect facts, but told with music and costumes, turning an unglamorous fight into a celebratory spectacle. At the end, decide what you were and what your legend will become. I think this is great. It's kind of a perfect way to relive the high points of your story, to indulge in the nostalgia of looking back at the best moments of your campaign. You also get to allow your story to live on in the imaginations of the people of your world. I just think it's so fun to hypothesize what strange myths and legends crop up after your characters are left behind, to see how your characters are interpreted by those who come after. The Ember Island Players episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender is a great example of this kind of revision, and I love that Pipkin is giving the rest of us a chance to retell our tales. I actually, genuinely cheered out loud when I read this game. Surprise, surprise, guy who can't stop referencing Kingdom Hearts is a weeb. AMV lets your table close out your story by creating an imaginary anime music video for your campaign. The leading player picks a song, and then using a list of phrases and prompts, narrates what you imagine an AMV made for you and your characters might look like. With the song playing in the background, you can use the phrases to help shape the AMV's direction, with classic images inspired by real anime. Floating in the water, an enormous moon rising above the city, dodging and weaving and making your character look like a badass. Mechanically, it's really simple. But honestly, my main reaction to AMV is gratitude. Within the structure of a game, Pipkin gives players permission to be cringy little weebs, setting their characters' flashiest moments to a backdrop of evanescence. For someone who still regards a Naruto vs Sasuke I hate everything about you AMV to be the pinnacle of the form, this game is everything I imagined as a preteen, giving me a chance to let my OCs run wild without shame. There's not a hint of irony in the text, just a genuine hope that you'll indulge in the fantasy of making a music video about your characters, and I absolutely love that. Once everyone has chosen the endings they wanted to explore, and everyone feels like they've hit an acceptable conclusion for their characters, the credits start to roll. With the option of a hard cut, montage, or a to-be-continued tease, you and your table finalize your campaign. Pipkin advises imagining a real credit sequence, with a song playing underneath as you see each other's real names listed as actors beside your characters. But outside of the fiction of your ended film, they also advise transitioning to a less game-focused conversation. Sure, you can talk about fan theories and great bits of dialogue, but Pipkin frames these moments as talking with friends in the theater, after the lights have re-illuminated and no one expects a mid-credits cutscene. Even with the possibility of the campaign being continued later, the game does want you to wrap things up, discuss where you'll get ice cream, or what your plans afterwards are. For now, you've got to move on. World Ending Game consists of 20 different tools to examine facets of your story, from character motivations to finicky loose ends, to the eventual heat death of your universe. If there's something you wanted to explore during the campaign but never got a chance to hash out, I guarantee this book gives you an opportunity to explore it. Like all supplemental games, its greatest potential failure point is reliance on players to fill in gaps. You can only do so much with prompts, the rest is up to your table. The thing is that World Ending Game isn't worried at all about whether or not your table plays 100% according to the rules. It's much more concerned about how you feel while navigating each scene. Just about every ending prompts players to consider their character's emotional state, how the events of a scene might affect each other or their world. The one ending in which your world is finally permanently destroyed comes with a warning that the scene should not be played without enthusiastic consent of all at the table. As a longtime game designer, Pipkin understands that the people and places you visit during a campaign can hold incredible personal significance. It's a deeply serious matter to finish a story forever. Above all, World Ending Game wants you to end your story satisfied. I personally think it's better when stories are limited, when they say what they want to say and step back behind the curtain rather than play encore after encore. I hope that people who play World Ending Game play it in that spirit, that they recognize that a comprehensive ending is better than a long one that never quite hits its mark. This book gives your table plenty of opportunities to look back at all the incredible, funny, and heartbreaking moments of your game, to slap on those rose-colored glasses and celebrate what you loved about the world you'd made. This text is maybe one of the kindest games I've seen with regards to the care it puts into ensuring everyone has a good time, and that the things you loved about the world are displayed in glass. But it is a world-ending game, and I hope when you let those credits roll, this book gives your world the goodbye it deserves. Thank you everybody for watching. This video was a blast to make. I think World Ending Game is absolutely incredible, and I was just so thrilled that Everest Pipkin gave me the chance to review it. Thank you so much to Everest for this. I really appreciate you taking a chance on a YouTuber with a very, very small audience. If you like what I do, you can follow me on Twitter at AaronSXL, where I tweet about tabletop RPGs, health policy, and writing. If you want to listen to more of my content, I've got 2 other podcasts. One is at Mortified Pod, where me and my friend Layla talk about critical media analysis. Well, we attempt critical media analysis. We are going to attempt it on Fast 6, which, you know what? We were happy to see Michelle Rodriguez back. So please, if you want people to just gush about how much we love Michelle Rodriguez, check that out. Also, my 2 ex-evangelical friends do a podcast with me that's at The Bible Boys. We are going to be talking about The Hunchback of Notre Dame, the classic from 1996, because we also did Book of Mormon, which was a not fun musical. So if you want people to have an interesting conversation about Christian adjacent media, listen to those. But anyways, thank you so much for taking the time to get to the end of the video, and I'll have a new review out soon. Thank you. Bye.